Trinidad and Tobago is the most unique tourist destination in the Caribbean, and I'm going to prove it to you in this video. Trinidad and Tobago is not only the last island in the Caribbean island chain, it's also the closest to the South American continent, separated from Venezuela by only 6.8 miles. There are news reports of Trinidadian nationals going for a swim in the ocean, getting swept away by currents, and then swimming to Venezuela. But Trinidad isn't just close to the South American continent, it was very recently connected to it. The island separated from South America only 10,000 years ago. This fact is important to remember because Trinidad's geographical location is the foundation of what makes this twin island Caribbean nation so distinct from other Caribbean islands. Now, let's dive into the top 7 reasons Trinidad and Tobago is the most unique tourist destination in the Caribbean. Number 1, birds. Yes, birds. Trinidad is definitely on the list of the top 10 places you should visit if you are a bird enthusiast. Not only does the island have a large number of bird species, Trinidad hosts like 400 species of birds, while, for example, Jamaica, which is twice the size of Trinidad, only has 300 species of birds, and Cuba, which is 22 times the size of Trinidad, hosts 400 species of birds. That is so sad. I hope Cuba and Jamaica can get some more birds. Trinidad has this many birds for 2 reasons. 1, its proximity to the main body of South America means the island is located next to the largest aviary in the world, with the not too far away Colombia being known as the country with the largest bird population in the world, harboring over 2,000 bird species. And 2, because the island was recently connected to the main body of South America, it has the biodiversity necessary to support large numbers of bird species. But that's not all. Trinidad is also a major migratory hub for migrating birds. It's probably more complex than this, but simply put, if you are a migrating bird coming from North America looking for the main continent of South America, the first thing you are likely to see that looks like the dense rainforest ecosystem you're looking for is Trinidad, and vice versa. If you're a bird that's accustomed to migrating along these routes, you would have realized Trinidad is the last point at which you're going to encounter this sort of dense rainforest ecosystem for a while. So you'd better stop here, get some rest, stock up on calories before continuing on. Every year, people flock to the Coroni Swamp located in the northwestern part of Trinidad to see swarms of scarlet ibises, among other birds. Folks book tours with one of the tour companies like this one here. Then they're carried into the swamp on these boats. The average cost of a tour ranges from between $60 US to $75 US. It's said that seeing thousands of red birds flocking in such large numbers that they block out most of the sky, while an orange sun sets on the horizon as you drift on a large open body of water, reflecting the amazing spectacle taking place above, has left people in shock. Other folks have been brought to tears. Seriously, tears over a bunch of dumb birds. This swamp is the largest nesting site for these birds in the entire world. Thus, the scarlet ibis is one of TNT's 2 national birds, and it's a major tourist attraction, stealing all the attention, while Trinidad's other national bird, the coquerico, aka the rufous-tailed chakalaka, who comes up with these names, gets no love, though it's one of the cornerstones of Tobago's ecosystem. Basically, plants and animals will start dying if this bird goes extinct, but the scarlet ibis is more popular because it's red. Trinidad also hosts an unusually large number of hummingbird species for its size, and is definitely the Caribbean island with the most hummingbirds, hosting 19 species of the little buggers on the island. If you want to go bird watching in Trinidad, there are many options. The Asia Right Nature Center, located in the Northern Range, offers day passes, $550 TT, or approximately $82 US per person, which includes 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. access, a guided tour, lunch, and 1 non-alcoholic beverage. They don't want you getting drunk, making a bunch of noise, and scaring away the birds. With reservations required for the pass, this rate applies to all visitors, and the center is managed by HATCO. Another popular birdwatching facility is the Geological Aviary. This one is located in the Northern Range, but closer to the capital city. Here, visitors can see all of the island's many species of hummingbirds up close. To enter this site costs $25 US and includes a basic tour and a light meal. You can also book tours with tour companies, but their prices will vary. Trinidad has quite a number of these type of facilities, but Trinidad's biodiversity is not just about birds. Number 2, leatherback turtles love Trinidad too. The islands are also the Caribbean's premier destination for turtle watching, especially if you want to see leatherbacks. Trinidad hosts the world's second largest nesting site for leatherback turtles and is also known to have the densest population of leatherbacks in the world. Every year, turtles come to the island, some from as far away as West Africa. They go to Trinidad because Trinidad's beaches have characteristics that create the ideal nesting ground for turtles, especially leatherbacks. Trinidad might not have the whitest sands on its beaches, but the sand is nutrient-rich, which aids with egg development. Also, Trinidad has a lot of rivers that interplay with its beaches. The fresh water from these rivers continuously washes and replenishes the sand on Trinidad's beaches, which is good for the turtles. The two most popular nesting sites where tourists can see the turtles close up are Matura Bay and Grand Revere. Grand Revere is considered the better site because they see the highest density of leatherbacks up there, though both sites are very popular. It's important to stress that these nesting areas are protected by law in Trinidad, and going turtle watching at these sites without proper authorization can result in $100,000 fines or possibly 2 years in prison. Do you know how stupid you're gonna look if you get locked up and when the other prisoners ask why, you have to tell them it's because you were watching turtles without a license? To go turtle watching at the Grand Revere, you can book a tour with the Grand Revere Nature Tours Association. They don't appear to advertise a specific price for these tours. Visit Trinidad lists the cost for a tour guided by the association as $100 TT for locals and $20 US for visitors, and $50 TT for locals under 12 and $10 US for visitors under 12. For turtle watching at Matura Bay, Nature Seeker Tours appears to be the primary option. A Nature Seekers turtle watching tour costs $105 TT per local adult and $21 US per foreign adult, with local children under 12 paying $52 TT and foreign children under 12 paying US $10. These prices are a couple of dollars more than the prices of the Grand Revere Nature Tours Associations because the price of permits are included in these prices. Yes, you will need to purchase permits to go on these tours. The prices are negligible though. All of these permits and protocols are needed because leatherback turtles are highly endangered. Female turtles exhibit natal homing, which basically means turtles that were born in Trinidad will return to Trinidad to lay their eggs. So protecting these sites are vital for protecting the species. Apparently, these things can sense the magnetic field of the earth and can remember the beach on which they were born. That is impressive. I can't even remember the password for my Facebook account. We can make a multiple hours long documentary about the biodiversity in Trinidad and Tobago, but that's not the only unique attribute brought about by Trinidad's geographic location. See, Trinidad isn't only located at the junction where the Caribbean island chain meets the South American continent. The island is situated right on top the fault line where the Caribbean tectonic plate meets the South American tectonic plate. Being located on top of a fault line separating two continents means Trinidad's geology is just as diverse and unique as its biodiversity. It also means Trinidad is at risk for a major earthquake, but I'm trying to focus on the positive stuff here. Number 3, Trinidad's insane geology, the Pitch Lake. Trinidad has the largest pitch lake in the world, estimated to hold over 10 million tons of bitumen and asphalt. It is a very unique phenomenon. There aren't too many asphalt lakes on Earth. Oil formed from dead organic matter, which was swallowed by the Earth millions of years ago, escapes and bursts onto the Earth's surface. On the surface, the oil mixes with water and mud, and with the help of microorganisms, it becomes asphalt. Located in the southwestern part of the island in a town called La Brea, which means the pitch in Spanish. Can't say you didn't learn anything today. The lake isn't just a tourist attraction, an asphalt mine. It's a site for great archaeological discoveries. Animals tend to get trapped in the lake's sticky pitch, and when they do, their bones are preserved by the pitch. Everything from giant sloths to mastodon fossils have been found in the lake. To explore the lake and learn more, make your way down to La Brea in South Trinidad. There you can purchase tickets at the Pitch Lake Visitor Center. The latest information online has tickets priced at $30 TT for adults and $12 TT for children. Trinidad's Pitch Lake is also the subject of one of the greatest philosophical debates in the world. Why does a country with the largest asphalt lake in the world have roads that look like these? Number 4. Trinidad also has mud volcanoes. Another unique result of being situated on top of the borderline between two continents, Trinidad has no less than 18 to 32 known mud volcanoes, while other Caribbean islands like Barbados and Grenada have 0. These volcanoes are just another addition to Trinidad's list of tourist attractions, which are found on no other Caribbean islands. One of the most popular mud volcanoes in Trinidad is the Piparo mud volcano. which is located in the central region of the country. Online information says there is no entrance fee. You can just drive to the location and explore. Located not that far away, but a little bit further south, is the Devil's Woodyard mud volcano. To access this site, online information suggests you need to pay a small entrance fee, $5 CT for adults and $2 CT for children. Another popular one is the Leo Michel mud volcano. Probably did not pronounce that correctly. This one is located at the southern end of the country. Online info says there's no entrance fee for this location. Also, some information from forums claims that this is the best volcano to visit, especially if you want to swim in the mud. To me, this area looks a bit secluded though, so definitely watch your 6 here. As like most places around the world that have mud pools, and there aren't that many, these mud volcanoes attract a large number of tourists who enjoy swimming in the warm pools of mud and taking mud-covered selfies. Number 5. Tobago is just as unique as Trinidad. Now, let's go to Tobago. Tobago is a lot more like a typical Caribbean island than Trinidad. The beaches are more akin to what you see on other islands, and the island is not industrial, so it has more of that laid-back Caribbean island charm. But it is still unique. Tobago has one of the most unique beach phenomenon in the entire world. First of all, this beach, Pigeon Point, it's not that bad. It's actually kind of beautiful. But what's amazing about this beach is more than a mile away from the shore, here is located one of the most infamous sandbanks in the world. This particular spot is literally an island of beach sand in the middle of the Caribbean Sea that you can jump out of your boat and walk around on. It's called the Nylon Pool, and what makes it unique is how shallow and clear the water is, even though it's all the way out there. If you're not accustomed to looking at Google Map images, this is a good distance away. Normally, visitors will book a ride on these boats over at Pigeon Point Beach. A basic tour to the Nylon Pool costs $35 US to $100 US, and the boats will carry them on tours to the Boca Reef area, which includes the Nylon Pool, this no man's land area here, where they have these restaurants and bars, and a few other things. But the Nylon Pool is infamous. Apparently, it's just an amazing experience to be more than a mile away from the shoreline, but be able to walk around out there like you're on the beach and look down and see the sand under your feet through the clear water. I'm not sure about being so, far out in the open water like that. Have you ever seen those drone videos where people are surfing and they are like completely unaware? There are like 6 or 7 sharks all around them. I'm good. I like the sand. That's my thing. Number 6. Tobago has the oldest nature preserve in the world. Over on the other side of the island, Tobago has one, if not the oldest nature preserve in the world. The geology and biology in Trinidad and Tobago is so inspiring. The very concept of part of nature being so beautiful that we need to enact laws to protect it was invented in Trinidad. Tobago's main rainforest reserve was established on April 13, 1776. There is some debate about whether it's the oldest nature preserve in the world in practice, but in terms of being legally enforced by written laws, it's definitely the oldest in the Western Hemisphere. It was established because of a scientist named Richard Hayes, who demonstrated a connection between trees and rain. He was able to show that trees absorb water through their roots and release it into the atmosphere through their leaves as water vapor, making forests a significant factor in generating rainfall. And I guess without that boost in rainfall, a tiny island like Tobago would start drying up, making agriculture a lot harder and devastating the ecosystem. There is no entrance fee. If you want to explore the reserve, you can just drive there. Although it is said to be common to negotiate prices with local guides to walk you through the area.
While Trinidad and Tobago by far is not the only Caribbean island that is very unique and very interesting, what really solidifies, at least in my mind, that Trinidad and Tobago may very well be the most unique island in the Caribbean is how its geographical location affects the makeup of the people on the island.
Number 7. Why Trinidad is the most culturally diverse island in the Caribbean. Trinidad's cultural diversity starts with its demographic makeup. It is unique among Caribbean islands. It has the expected sizable population of people of African descent, but it also has a large population of people of East Indian descent, similar to neighboring countries on the South American coast, like Guyana and Suriname. In fact, it's the only Caribbean island where the majority of the population are East Indian. By the way, Suriname has the most diverse population among Caribbean nations. But it's not an island, it's not even on the Caribbean plate. These countries here, I'm not sure how or why they are classified as being part of the Caribbean. I'll have to look into that. Trinidad is also the Caribbean island that hosts the largest number of Venezuelans per capita. While the Dominican Republic is the Caribbean nation with the largest number of Venezuelans residing there, hosting approximately 139,800 Venezuelans, Trinidad, due to its proximity and history with Venezuela, hosts a large number of Venezuelan migrants for its size, with surveys estimating the number of Venezuelan migrants on the island to be around 44,800. Trinidad's demographic makeup is another example of the country being a combination of a stereotypical Caribbean island and a South American country. But there is more to the diversity in Trinidad than just Africans, Indians, and Latinos. According to Wikipedia, there are 8,669 Europeans living there, 4,000 Chinese living there, 1,300 Amerindians living there, 1,000 Arabs and Lebanese living there. There are also 82,000 people who classify themselves as others living there. But most importantly, 301,866 Trinidadians identify themselves as being mixed.
There are many nations around the world where you have lots of different groups and ethnicities coexisting together, but they don't mix. That's not a melting pot, that's a coexisting pot, which is a good thing. But when you have a country where a third of the population identifies themselves as being mixed, that's a melting pot.
All of this diversity concentrated on this small Caribbean island means Trinidad's culture is rich. This richness is manifested in its food, its architecture, its festivities, even its demographic makeup. There is so much to cover in terms of all of the different cultural experiences you can have in Trinidad. I'll leave that for another video.
So I have to be honest with you, at the time that I wrote the script for this video, it might not be the best time to come visit Trinidad, okay? Last year, Trinidad recorded its highest murder rate ever, 600 and something murders. And this year, while the murder rate has gone down a bit, it's still pretty high. On top of that, you know, Trinidad is right next to Venezuela. I mean, Trinidad is closer to Venezuela than it is to Tobago. And the United States military, or the Navy, I guess, just began kinetic strikes against alleged drug dealers transiting, from what they said on the news, this is what I think it was, transiting from Venezuela to Trinidad, you know, which makes sense, you know, drug dealers like Trinidad for the same reasons birds do. Yeah, but now might not be the best time. But if I could even foresee them, you know, if this goes further, if there's more interventions and stuff, I could even foresee the United States military possibly carrying out strikes against targets in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, you never know where this is going to go. So now might not be the best time to come to Trinidad and Tobago if you might be overly concerned about things like that. I know it won't stop some people, but definitely if the situation clears up and gets better, I would recommend you put Trinidad and Tobago on your bucket list.